Okay, this video, or the PowerPoint can be found on the class website. Let's get started. So I want to start with number 213, Nan Madol. Nan Madol. It's in Pohnpei, not Pompeii, but Pohnpei, Micronesia. We're interested in the Sandalur dynasty. Those are the kings that ran, these islands actually created because they are created islands. This is they were built on a coral reef. There are exactly 92 of these little islets that are set within a network of canals that were created. There are seawalls to protect the islands from the sea. You can see, so I'm talking about Micronesia. The Nan Madol is located around here in this area. This is the big picture, and so Micronesia you can see is north of Australia. This would be an kind of an overview, aerial view of Nan Madol. So you can see it's pretty extensive, and so what they were able to do, of course, is to cut the rocks, rocks off of a cliff into log shapes, and you can see that they've actually stacked these. These are rocks. This is cut rock stacked up like they're logs, like you're making a log cabin, and so that's how these islands were constructed in the sea. It was an administrative and ceremonial center and home to about 1,000 people at a time when the whole kingdom was about 25,000 people. So it held quite a few people in comparison. It was, let me go on to the next one, I guess. I think I have it here. Yes, so I mentioned it was a ritual and ceremonial center for the ruling chiefs. Essentially what they would do is they would demand that any rival chiefs in the area who were still under their domain, I would say maybe ruling kings of the Sandalur dynasty, not chiefs, they would make the rival chiefs come and live on this island with them, so there would be no risk of these rival chiefs overthrowing them, so they had to come live with them there. I mentioned that, it's put in a series of canals. You might call it the Venice of the Pacific is one way of looking at it. Let's see here. I mentioned that it's how it's made with the logs. It's a highly ceremonial society. I read an article in Smithsonian about the prospect of possibly restoring Nan Madol because it's not in good shape right now, and there's still an official understood to be king who just kind of hangs out in a Hawaiian shirt. Anyway, it's tied up in a lot of old understandings of how things should be done, and because of that, in part, nothing's being done. Anyway, I mentioned it was a ceremonial center, highly stratified society, and that seems to still kind of, vestiges of that still seem to be around. In terms of sacredness, you needed to know eels. Eels were considered very sacred. There were whole, kind of ways cut through the canals, cut through the islands, so these eels could get in there. There was a pool for sacred eels that the priests would feed the innards of a turtle to, and then eat the rest of the turtle afterwards as kind of a sacramental communion of sorts. Yeah, so that is Nan Madol. Good. Moving on, the Maui on platform Ahu, and it's an Easter Island. You can just write down Easter Island. We all know what that is. Although obviously the proper name would be Rapa Nui. Circa 1100 to 1600 CE, it's volcanic tufa. You remember tufa, right?